What's going on, Cowboy Nation? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? I hope I got some volume this time. I really do hope my volume is working. Uh, I'm in here live. I usually don't go live on YouTube um, because I have another platform that I'm going live. But if some of y'all click in, y'all probably can tell me um, if you can if you can hear me today. Hear me. Yep, I'm live. You don't have to worry about it today. I know you can hear me. This Coach Marv show, man. We coming in from on YouTube. Um, Glad I'm doing this platform on YouTube because this time I probably can see y'all super chats when y'all send some super chats this time. When you click the love button, the 100% button, the love button there. There's a add some emojis. We have the super chat button there for supporting the at Coach Marv. Man, there's a lot of things that we are going to do because we are back. We are here on Coach Marv Real Talk. And we're just gonna talk a few minutes right before the Thanksgiving thing. I wanted to get some things off my chest about as you can see in my title of my video, title of this live stream. Title of this live stream is what's our next game plan? Um, there's been some talk about the game plan of the defense and the offensive game plan from last week. Um, I spoke on the game plan of the defense on my last live video. Um, a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but and yes, we have gotten a lot more talent on our defense, but I think our defensive game plan last week was perfect. I wouldn't have had a better defense. I would pick the same defensive game plan. And let me go back over again why I said that I would have picked that game plan. There's going to be certain teams that zone is going to be better than playing man to man. I know there's a lot of stuff going on here talking about, oh, we need to play man to man all the time, and we more man to man, this and that. But there are certain teams that zones are better for than man to man. Philadelphia is a team that zone is better than man to man. Let me give you the reason why zone is better against Philadelphia, and I think Mac Eagles did a great job of 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 playing a lot of zone because there's a difference between that. One, you check the consistency of an offense. Um, what makes the offense ticks in Philadelphia? Well, what makes the offense ticks in Philadelphia is big plays. Without big plays, they don't drive the ball well. They're not because they hadn't been consistent all year of driving the ball. And I'm going over Philadelphia because I want to explain to you why the defensive game plan was great. They're not a drive. They could drive, but they're not consistent driving the football. So you want to prevent them big plays. So you don't want to get them the AJ Brown throw down the field, the Smith field down the field, because then you're letting them off the hook by getting them big plays. You don't want them to run you off and let Barkley get the ball and you don't have run support and he gets outside so you want to have eyes on the ball. So yes, zone is better for against Philadelphia if you're making sure you're taking away the big throws down the field. Two, you want to be in zone because you want to have eyes on Jalen Hurts. You don't want to get caught too many times in man to man and they just run dummy passes down the field and then he let him get out the box. You corral him, keep him in the pocket, surround him, and have people that can rally to him. Those two things right there is why I would have played zone, and that's what Maggie Eagles did and Philadelphia showed you that they didn't have no consistency in the offense. If you look in the first half, if we didn't give them a couple of penalties in the second drive, they don't even score in the second drive. So they may have had one good drive, but that's how they were all year. So playing a lot of zone against them, when we keep on talking about these people talking about how soft the zone and all that, you want to. And I say this again, we have to really be mindful that, and I'm not saying Matt Eberflus is the greatest defensive coordinator, but we got to be mindful of how we look at things, because we're not trying to prove a point that we're trying to push. If guys are throwing 5-yard pass, 2-yard pass, you're playing tight ain't gonna stop that. What it's gonna do is end up getting you beat deep. And I've always said this: if we rally well, you stop that and you make teams go away from that because you rally well. We rallied a little well sometimes, but if we start rallying a lot better, we would be. It was a couple of plays in the game that I watched with the naked eye that I could see that when we were playing zone, we got guys in our zone, and we got and zone is a high IQ thing. People want to talk about athletes, and I say this again, and I'll challenge anybody this. And I know people be talking about what's in style now, what's that. There was a time when we had one of the number one defenses. Dion played a lot of man. But on the other side, we played a lot of zone. The first Super Bowl runs we played a lot of zone. We had great athletes and speed, which makes zones even harder if you play it right. We was the first one of the first innovators of playing three safeties. Kind of a shell coverage, but yes, if you want to say bend and don't break, it's depending on how aggressive you play it. But it was built out to give up big plays. And I've said this time and time again with this defense. If we don't give up big plays for the last 5 years, and I ain't gonna say with this team, and it goes with this team. For the last 5 years, we don't give up big plays, nobody score against us. And if you want to talk about bend and don't break, whatever, every defense bend and don't break. There is no defense that's rigid. You're gonna give up some plays. There's gonna be plays given up. But what I liked about the defense was they had some moxie about them to stay in the game. I'm loving what our defensive line is doing. And when you watch the game, and see, this is why I watch the game in a different way than all the other people. A lot of people just watch plays. If you watch the plays, on a lot of Jalen Hurts passes, it was 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 3. He still couldn't get rid of the ball. And then he ended up throwing what we call a soft zone, but throw the ball 5 yards to the underneath receiver. That's a win for the defense, because his first 2 or 3 reads to go down the field, he didn't get it, and he really had to come back down to the check down. Basically, those are check downs. And when we rallied to the ball, we still put them in third and fourth long situations. Very good defensive plan for that team. Is that the defensive game plan we need to do for this week? Well, my study of San Francisco of the Kansas City is a different study than what Philadelphia is. Yes, Kansas City has been sputtering with their offense, but Kansas City is not a big strike play football team. Now, everybody want to think Patrick Mahomes and that team is a big strike team. They're not. But they will drive the ball on you if you don't get them out of rhythm. First, you have to shut the run down with this team, because a lot of stuff that they have built off play actions. Second thing, the reason why you don't play a lot of zone here is because Kelsey is one of their best receivers, and his athletic ability is gone. And if you play zone, he'll start using his smarts and the timing of him and Patrick Mahomes to kill you. So what you really want to do, you don't want to play no zone. You want to play zone against them. You want to play man to man a little bit more, mix it in a little bit more man to man, because you want to try to push the Kansas City Chiefs to push the ball down the field. Again, I'm saying this is what I said yesterday. When you're analyzing teams, you have to see what makes them tick. And if you go over history of a games, you'll find out if this team is a big strike team. They're looking for the big strike. They're looking for the big plays. Or is this team a driving team? Where is most of the balls going? Are they throwing balls real short? Are they throwing the ball down the field? Are they really pushing the ball down the field? So man to man, maybe a little more man to man. I ain't saying totally, but man to man on this team coming up may be better. But you still gonna have the problem that you had with Jalen Hurts by not having eyes on the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes can hurt you in the run game. So now you 6 one way and half a dozen another. Andy Reid knows that man-to-man defenses kind of shut his team down because he don't have dynamic one-on-one get loose guys. But he counteracts that with a running quarterback, so he makes you play zone. So now what Eagleflu's plan is we have to be smart of when we put the man in and when we put the zone in. And in this anything we want to talk about, and I always say this about our defense. I'm not saying that Mac Eagleflu's going to be here next year, but I will say this. If your defensive players don't buy in, I don't care who your defensive coordinator is. And it's time for them to buy in because we're in a run now. There is no time to say, well, I want to do it. It's time to buy in so we can keep this run going. Now, offensively, let's talk about the offensive game plan. If y'all want to talk about the offensive game plan, the offensive game plan got to go back to a physicality thing. If you don't put a measure of physicality against this team, and you go one dimensional or go too pass happy and not have a physical presence against Kansas City and that defense coordinator, he's gonna give you problems. Because the blitz packages are gonna get more and more advanced. You'll be able to keep those blitz packages down to a bay if you got the physicality opponent there. Throwing the ball to the running backs against Kansas City is paramount. Well, y'all getting some information y'all ain't gonna get from somebody else. Why? It kills the blitz. See, he likes to dial up blitzes, but if you attack him in the flats right now with running backs and hurt that defense coordinator, he's gonna slow those blitzes down. They like to bring 5 at all times, and sometimes 6 on the overloaded side. They want to make sure that they get somebody running free to make you get the ball up pretty fast. They don't think that their pass rush just by itself can get pressure. So they're going to manufacture pressure. If you got a physical component to your offense, you'll be able to neutralize that. Why you say, well, coach, why you keep talking about physical component? You got to go into this week, this short week, and you got to emphasize with your team, your offensive line, to say it's paramount for us to win the game that we be more physical up front. And they got to come in with that mindset that we're going to knock people off the ball. And we'll make the pass blocking easier. 2 things. Now, what's really going to show up in this game? It's the second part of my um, title, and my title says that word consistency. There go that word again, consistency. You heard that word that's talked about 2 3 weeks 2 weeks ago when I say I was back. You have heard that word from your head coach on several occasions. The teams at this particular point in time in the year, the teams that start to build the true consistency in their play is going to be the teams that's going to be standing in February. There's no time now to be up and down. There should be, you may not play totally well, but there should be some consistency, consistent goodness in your play. We should be able to see your identity as a football team, and we should expect that we're getting better every week with this new team. But the consistency got to be there. I know y'all don't really, a lot of people don't understand what that is, but it's a consistent play. And I didn't think the consistent play was good in the first half of this last game. It seemed like we converted back to some old habits. But those habits of penalties, missed assignment, we need to come out this game and not have those things. Consistency. Consistency is the biggest key to this team going to another level. Can we put 3 games back together? Can we get more consistent in our play? That's yet to be seen. Is anybody out there commenting? Anybody out there commenting in the chat? Can somebody send I want to see if am I recognizing the chats that's coming through? Um, I'm gonna put some out there. Um, if anybody got some out there, please put some in the chat. We want to see if we can. When you come in the room, let's want to make sure you hit the like and let's comment. And let's, and if you hadn't subscribed, let's subscribe, man. Coach Mar, Real Talk, man. Uh, we giving a YouTube thing, man, with a flair. Um, Trying to get a flair of seeing this with a flair of from the coach's point of view. Consistency. Can we build consistency in our play in this week? That's going to be very, very crucial to if we're going to make a playoff run. That's going to make a very. The consistency is going to not only help our offense and our defense with complementary football. It's going to help us with building our identity, and then we'll stop jumping all over the place as a content creation environment. No, us as content creators won't be jumping all over the place about what we should do. We will know on a consistent basis what they do every week, and we will know what makes our team rock, and we'll be able to refer back to that. Say, hey, we need to get this. Some people say we need to get Pickens done. We just need to get the passing game. Dak is going to be orchestrating all this. Again, I still say there should be some more balls going to our running backs. Again, I will say that I need my third wide receiver, whoever it may be, a combination of the group, to give me at least 45 catches a game. That's a combination of the group, not just one person. So, a lot of those type things. Consistency in the way that we play. That's what we're looking for to see if we can build consistency in the way that we play. Consistency in the way that we play. Wanted to go over some things, man. Wanted to let me see if I can pull up something. Um, Want to see if I can pull up something for y'all. Wanted to put some up in the chat. Um, Wanted to see if I can share this screen with you. And what I'm sharing to you is we want to talk about some of these things that we've been seeing out there in the chat box. I want to show you why Ryan Flournoy is playing. If you watch this film right here, where somebody did this tape of Flournoy, this is why Ryan Flournoy is out here and Tony Tolbert. I mean, Tolbert, Jalen Tolbert is not playing no more. This is why he's playing and Jalen Tolbert is not playing anymore. What did I say from a third wide receiver you needed? Y'all hear me all the time. He's got to be great on special teams, and he's got to be the most physical guy because he's got to do a lot of dirty work. These type of plays by Florida is putting. These are the plays that nobody looks at. The plays underneath the radar that this kid is doing, and if he don't catch a football, these plays are being very important to our success. And I always say the success of a football team is from the players that do the things that are unsung, things that people don't talk about. And so I think Florino has done a great job of being on this team and doing some great work on this team as a third wide receiver. I'm really liking what he's doing. Elijah Clark, the one that got down the field and made the hit to get caused the fumble. Another guy that came here as an undrafted free agent that is showing his hustle, that's doing some great things with his hustle. Again, the team is going to be built off what where you got where your least of your guys are and how well they're playing. And we got some guys on our back end of our roster that's doing some very good things of playing well. I'm loving what the defensive line playing. Osa is having a field day in his rotation because he's when you rotate a lot of guys, when you rotate those defensive tackles with different power and set tools, you come in there, we're wearing offensive line down. So but we got to build some consistency in our play. We got to get better defensively. I know some people say, excuse me, they say our defense was good because we ain't gave up no running. Look how well we done the last couple of weeks. But to be honest with you, and this is not no shade, but we played two of the worst defense offenses in the league this play. Some people won't say that uh that some people gonna say that everybody knows that everybody knows that the Raiders offense was horrible. Chip Kelly got fired. The Eagles offense ain't been that great this year either. So yes, it is an accomplishment for shutting those two offenses down, but they ain't been able to run the ball against nobody anyway. And their offense was not dynamic. That's why playing zone against them was a great choice by Matt Eberflus. Excellent choice. What I would have done no different. Make them work underneath and take the big play away from them, and their offense is going to sputter. That's how they've been all year. Don't even give them an opportunity to throw the ball deep down the field. That's how you make them. Now the exact opposite with this team. You want to force Patrick Mahomes them to throw the ball down the field. I know that sounds crazy, but you do because he's not saying he can't throw the deep ball, but Andy Reid doesn't dial up a lot of deep ball routes. He does a lot of crossing routes. Now you're gonna have some trouble with those crossing routes if you're playing man because you're gonna get in the back hip somebody, but you got to be able to. But I think a hybrid of zone man mix, well, comes a couple of zone blitzes. If you blitz guys with this defensive line, most times the guys you blitz are gonna come wide open free. So I think they're doing a good job of that. But again, consistency. Can we get consistent in our play? One thing I did see in the last game, I'm watching the last game, I seen a lot of well, one I seen too many pre-snap penalties that was horrible. You just can't line up off sides on defense. You can't jump off sides on offense, not on the goal line. We have to straighten out those things. We have to start playing cleaner. Another topic was this came out was about CD Lamb. And let me explain something about CD Lamb. And I'm gonna give you my point of view. And I know may not be popular with everybody. CD Lamb is still, and I understand what Jared said because Jared just said what everybody else said. But CD Lamb is my number one wide receiver. Now, does that mean uh, he's gonna get more targets or whatever? Dak is the orchestrator of that. But he has earned that right over years. And he's going and listen, he could take his stats for a couple of games that he had bad, and we said it was bad because he had maybe some crucial drops. But those games he had over 100 yards with receptions. Some people would look at it and say, "Man, what scale are we judging this guy on?" Which is true. And when you have somebody else being doing well, we're moving the expectations of CD Lamb to be perfect, and that's what I don't want him to get into. I don't want him to get into that. Because he get into that, there is no way he can live up to the expectations that we're gonna keep putting on. I need him to be a solid contributor to this team because we got other weapons. And his time is gonna come where he's gonna have to shine. But right now, he's got to get out of his mind that he's got to be great. Just be CD Lamb. And that's gonna be great. Don't try to press to be great. So that's what I wanted to get out to CD Lamb because a lot of people are talking about, yeah, he need to tighten up, but we give him scrutiny. We got to understand, we don't want to kill the psyche. He just in a bad stretch. And he lost his momentum and his rhythm when he missed 4 games. So that's what I'm saying with that. You know, let's just talk about how Ferguson is coming along in this offense. How we did get the ball. Let's get the ball to Hunter Limpy. Let's get the ball to these guys. We are getting better. We're getting better at doing those things, but let's keep focused on getting better. And what the word consistency. Getting better and the word consistency is where we want to get to. Anybody got any questions out there in the chat? Anybody out there in the chat, any questions that you got that you would what you want to talk about when you're talking about this week's game plan? Regardless of what the question is, we can answer those questions and try to give. Now, if you want to use the app, you want to use it. If somebody want to, if somebody out there in land out there, and I know I'm not no telling you to do this, but if somebody who out there viewing that's in the chat box, can you do two things for me? Can you splash the heart or the 100% so I can see if that comes up on my screen on this side? And the other thing is, if you just do a super chat for $2, not a lot, just $2, I want to see if it comes up so I can recognize the super chat when it comes up. So if someone could do one for okay, I see what all the stuff we can put it on there. Anything, any topic y'all want to talk about today, we're gonna talk about those topics. So put somebody there in the anything y'all want to put out here in the chat box. Let's put it out there in the message center, and we'll try to talk to we'll try to get those questions because this game is a big game, man. The severity of this game is building consistency. We can't listen at this point in time. We don't need to be watching other teams what their scores are. Right now, we just have to worry about are we playing well and we're winning. If we could do that, we don't have to worry about everybody else. It'll work out. Happy Turkey Day. Say, okay, what's the keys to victory for tomorrow for us to win both the offense and the defense? That's okay. Let's go back over that. Um, Defensively, got to stop the run. You got to stop it, and you got to stop it because one thing Andy Reid is going to do, he's going to try to keep it going now because he understands he need to run the ball. But we got to stop the run. No explosive plays in the run game. Make it very difficult. Now I ain't saying you got to do it. Make it very difficult for them to run the football. Two, let's try to make sure that we make them push the ball down the field. I do not want to see Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to see this team right here is the game plan defensively for me. And I'm gonna say it again. Let me go back and re-illustrate what I said um, about last week about the Matt Eberflus game plan against Philadelphia. I wouldn't have done nothing different. Perfect game plan. The game plan for that team was to zone them up. That's how you attack them. You make them work the ball down the field. They want big plays. Philadelphia wanted big plays because their offense is not consistent enough without the run game to drive the ball down. And we started to see that. After we gave them a touchdown by getting them third down plays in one of those when they got 21, after we stopped doing that, they could persistently put a drive together. I think they was 1-9 on third downs after that in the second half. I think 1 or 10 or what on third down. So you do zone them, make them throw the ball underneath and rally. Don't give them big plays. Now, Kansas City is the exact opposite in some ways. You zone Philadelphia. Another reason you zone Philadelphia is you want to surround Jalen Hurts, and you don't want backs to him because he want to again. He'll take the yards because they're not kicking on offense. So every time he can hurt you with running the ball, he would. And I think we did a great job of containing it. Now with Kansas City, this is a different story. Kansas City is not really a big strike team. Ever since Tyreek Hill left out there, they don't really strike big on a consistent basis. But they will run timing rights in this West Coast thing, and they will get you. They'll get down the field and put points on the board, but they may not be explosive. But they'll get you out your rhythm because they'll be holding the ball. So in this, you got to mix a little bit man to man and make the Travis Kelce's be an athlete, and he's older. They got some athletes, some speed burners out there, but I don't know how they speed burners. If you playing physical against them, I think we can still go. But I don't think we should go total man to man and go cover zero. But I think we could be a little tighter on this team and try to force them to go down the field. But tackling is always the key. If you really want to ask the question of this, the consistency in our tackling and attacking the ball is the key against Kansas City. If we bring the tackling and the effort that way, I think we can really control Kansas City's offense. Offensively, you got to run the ball against Kansas City. You don't have to be ultra successful, but you got to give carries. You got to win the physical battle up front. If you don't, Spags is gonna put so many different blitzes together, it's gonna give you hell. And he's gonna be hunting your quarterback. But if you do a hard play action because you can't will run the ball, you're gonna slow all that stuff down because they can't afford to do that when you're going to run the ball because you get out of layered and run the ball, then they're gonna be giving up big explosive plays in the run game. Two, we got to find an explosive play somewhere. We got to find some explosive plays against this defense. Because why? This defense has got a historical thing that they don't give up big plays. Spags don't give up big plays. That's why they stay in every game. That's why you can't hardly blow them out. It's not because of their offense. They make you work for whatever you're going to get. We got to be patient enough and disciplined enough to put drives together. It's going to give us the opportunity to make a big play, but we got to capitalize when we go and try to make that big play. And I really believe the big plays are going to come in the running game. And it may come from Davis, Malik Davis, may, because he got a lot of juice. Discipline on there, physicality, and I know y'all hear this all the time, but you got to be that way. Now, I think any more questions? That's Cowboys fan go. He say yes. Listen, the question is, do I think that we can pressure uh Pat Mahomes? I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out how would I put this on here. Okay, I don't want that. I want I want to see if I can put this message. How did I put this message on? Well, I don't know how to put this up there. Okay. Well, there's a message in the chat by Cowboy fan. He said, "Well, he said, do we think we can pressure? Do we think we could pressure the defensive line? Do our defensive line think they could pressure and contain Holmes? Listen, the amount of pass rushes we got from the interior and then from the outside, if we play discipline and stay in our lanes, I saw something Matt Eberflus was doing last week, which, and I think he's going to do a lot of this week. You can bring up that fifth guy with these guys up front. If you bring a fifth guy, you're going to always get home to the quarterback. The question is everybody going to stay in their lanes and play together and say, hey, I'm waiting. I know where the blitz going to come. You're going to force him into me. I'm going to get upfield and hang back and then make the pounce. That's all about playing together. As this defensive line plays together more and more, they're going to understand bait and switch. And I've had defensive linemen that do, because that does that. What they're doing is forcing me into me. I'm going to apply pressure. I know where he's going to try to run. He's going to run right into my arms. When they get, instead of stunting, when your defensive line gets that continuity, we're going to get pressure. Houston, Fowler, Sam Williams, this interior, we're going to get pressure. What's going on, J boy? JB boy. Any other big questions we want to talk about? Yeah, the penalties is a thing. Any other thing? That was two great questions, man, about the how we gonna get pressure and what is the game plan. The game plan really, people, and I want to say that, and if it's any content creators out there right now that's going on content, I'm telling you, even after this game, preach for consistency in our play. Go back and watch the last film. And let me give you this. Watch what we did good in the last film and see if we consistently doing that good the next week. If we're going up and down, we hadn't arrived yet. But when we get consistent with this talent, the NFL is going to pay. Now, what helped our consistency? Confidence helps your consistency. And coming back last week is going to pay dividends to this team. It has built a confidence in this team that is going to last. Because I asked you this, and I'm gonna ask something. I'm gonna ask some of y'all in the chat. Listen to me. In the last 6 years, how many times we done seen our team play a good football team get down by double-digit points and come back and win the game? I might be missing one. See that? Because if you didn't, this is a great character build. Yeah, you say I saw that Flus had them staying on blocks versus Philly. Yeah, containing. That's right. Last game, you're so right. Last game, I pointed out in our live stream, we was undisciplined on a couple of Jalen Hurts. Even that touchdown he ran, where we were really undisciplined, and they just counteracted on our discipline. Let me tell you something. And I hate to keep going back to Philadelphia, but it tells you about the game plan, and then you'll be able to see how game plans are. If you'll be able to say, man, this is what the team does, why are we not attacking that or worried about that? Philadelphia's one big plays. Jalen Hurts don't want to run the ball for 5-10 yards. He want big plays. So if he catches you in man-to-man coverage, which we were, and then your defensive ends are coming and diving in. He gets out the side door. He gone. What we did this game was we zoned a little bit more. We surrounded him in the pocket with 5 blitzers, and you will see sometime in the film, if you watch it, sometimes there was a dedicated defensive tackle that kind of went up the field but kind of lingered so he couldn't get out the side door. That's games they were playing. And as this defensive line plays more and more together, they're going to get more in tune with what each other is doing, and they're going to start playing like the hand. And once they start playing like the hand, it's going to be trouble for the teams. Great observation about the pocket. Any more great observations? Any questions about where we think where we stand on this uh in these standings? Any questions about um some of the players, or maybe an injury, or some of the players that y'all might want to talk about that I may have seen, or maybe have to do a little research on? Um, it's a big game. Confidence builder number 2. And this game, this game of football is all built on confidence. Hopefully, the defense is starting to play with more confidence. I think I heard somebody say that, because I said that well early in the season. Because I said we went playing against Rev Foley in Green Bay game, and I thought we was gaining some confidence after the Green Bay game. But again, the reason why we didn't build no confidence is because of consistency. We're not a consistent football team. We're trying to build consistency, but we're not a consistent football team. Okay, yeah, both of those guys, both of the cornerbacks. One thing I know, Carson, he got to put some games together, man, before he get hurt every 5 minutes. And this is not no strike against, because I'm not saying he ain't hurt, but we need to put him every time he gets hurt, and he may still play this game, but every time he gets hurt, people, and you're not on the field, it takes away from your reps, and it takes away from your effectiveness as a player. If he's doing semi good now, how would he have been if he was been on the field all last year? See what I'm talking about? Playing gets you ready. And the same thing with the other young guy. I don't want him the other rookie guy. He can't miss no time now, because he missed all the training camp. So we think about him doing a great job as a corner. No, right now is I would have a specific role with him, and I would spoon feed him. And when he gets, next year is probably going to be a bigger year for him than this year, because when you lose that much time, it's hard to come back from missing that much time of actual game on the field playing with guys. So those two guys are very, very vital to you thing. We have cut Elam. I said that, a lot of people got on my case about that, but I said that weeks and weeks ago. Nobody listened to me. And I'm not putting everything on Elam, but that mentality in your secondary is a cancer. And I said that when we played Chicago, when they threw that screen pass to Swift, and I pointed out, somebody had on Twitter, and pointed out, and it was on there. I pointed out that this is poor effort to try to tackle a guy. Nobody listened to me, and I put on there and said we need to check in time. Everybody want to talk about coverages, and I said this, and the Dallas Cowboys defense is doing this now. I have said since 4 or 5 weeks ago, and people think coaches just being, oh, this is all we talking about. Just be a little bit more physical in the back end, and let's see how that works. And the more physical they get in the back end and start building that reputation, it's gonna work. But you couldn't be. We were so finesse in the back end, it was horrible. Yeah, we had Elam turning down tackles. He only had 5 tackles in about 10 games. Diggs at that time was turning down tackles here and there. I'm not. There ain't no dig on Diggs. That's the truth. No, it has to be a unit. Any more questions? Anybody got? Great question though. Great JB boy. That's a great question, man. Thank you for it. And it's a hamstring injury for Carson. But I want him to get on that field. I want him to consistently be on the field for the rest of this year because if we gonna, that will pay dividends for him playing well. If he gets missed some time again after all this time he gone, he missed some time again. We looking at another wasted season, and we don't want another wasted season. By no means, we want another wasted season. Anybody else got it? Anybody out there, like I said, anybody would like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'm 270 some subscribers off of getting some of these. If you link to some of these other content creators that's in this chat, um, hey man, tell these people to go out to my channel and subscribe and get so I can get over that hump of the last little hump of monetization. The other thing is uh another thing is that the Elam early on in the season, Hooker was not tackling. Donovan Wilson was not the Donovan Wilson I thought was, and our finenseness on the back end. Teams have still got it. Listen, the Cowboys give the ball pass less than 10 yards in the air on more than any other team in this league. Now, take that stat when y'all start talking about zones and soft coverages. Take that stat and say, look, what is a team trying to tell you? And this is what you got to listen. Football putting games is just common sense, man. If I'm getting 85% of my passes less than 10 yards in the air, me having guys, I still ain't gonna be able to stop it, but short passes, right? What did they saying? They're saying you ain't gonna rally, you ain't gonna get off blocks, and you ain't gonna be able to tackle us, and we gonna get what we need from there. When we start rallying, start hitting people and cutting those where you get through a 5 yard pass, you think you're gonna get 10 out of it, and we turn that 5 yards to right at 5 yards, then you're gonna go away from it. Yes. I said, yeah, I said we have to fix the safety position. And listen, let me tell you something about the safety position. I said this since full training camp when I did it, and I said it again. I did a whole video about going against Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, I knew somebody knew Jalen Ramsey one play safety, and he would have fixed your safety position and would have gave it attitude as well as give it swag, and he had still some cover ability where he was a ball hawk, and he's physical. Now they're looking for a guy. They're gonna address the safety position, and it's gonna come out that our safety position, and we need to clear the room. Elijah Clark is the one I want to keep, and maybe the other guy we picked up the grab, Hooker Wilson. I hate to say this, number 14, yes, and Wanye Thomas. Let's clear the room. No, when the question comes about how would I fit that in, I'm going straight young. I'm going straight draft of my free safeties. I got Elijah Clark. I'm going straight, and I think some of these undrafted free agents can probably be a difference makers at safety. We got to coach them up. We got to stop thinking about drafting the high draft picks to get coach them up. And let me tell you why. And I'm gonna see if y'all can follow me when I keep talking about we got to coach them up. I watch a lot of football. Y'all probably do too. And I'm gonna give you the straight, the real. We as our fan base is too, what we want to say, too name brandish. We got to have product coach Louis Vuitton. If it ain't that, we don't think it works. If we get a name brand, we can feel it work regardless if it ain't good, as long as it got a name. We got a fan base that want to go out and get Odell Beckham when he get off the suspension because his name is Odell Beckham. But he's washed. We need name brands. Now let me go to a team that's better than us in the playoffs right now. And listen to me. San Francisco 49ers. Name me 4 or 5 guys on their defense. They're 2 stars on their defense. They're true name brand guys are gone. They let some other name brand guys leave in off season. When their name brand guys got going on their defense, right? You say Chris Johnson, yeah. But when their name brand guys got going on their defense, did they get panicked and say we got to go out and trade and get another guy? No. They altered their defense and they got the guys to perform as a unit. When you watch them, you don't really see no difference. Are they just as good as they were with those guys? No. But they got a level of consistency and a culture that says they're gonna play well regardless of who they got on the field. We're trying to build that because we're more talented than that team. And we probably got safeties that can play. And I always say this: what makes a name? I keep saying this, and everybody keeps shooting me down. What makes a name? Opportunity makes a name. You get an opportunity. Somebody gives you the opportunity to let you work through some of the growing pains, hold you accountable, see what they see in practice, bring that out, and he makes it. And I've seen that happen many times. But when you get that opportunity, guess what, people? Our opportunity never goes away. Let me say it again. Our opportunity never goes away. It just goes to another person. Our opportunity never goes away. So all these like Elijah Clark and guys that getting the opportunity don't go away. It just goes to another person. So when you get an opportunity to make that name, you got to be ready. We don't ask you to be perfect, but we got to be ready. And I tell any young player, start out by being a head cracker. And we can work the rest of it in. Yeah, it's just one guy, UJ Johnson, man. They got a collection of guys. They got 2 guys playing middle linebacker that, man, it's hard to replace that guy, but that's what they do, man. There's a certain style, certain physicality they play with, and if they get that, they can make everything else right. And that's what the consistency that I'm looking for. Once we get that consistency with this team, the next man may not be as good, but he's not going to hurt you at all. So we want y'all to build that consistency. Any more questions? I got, man, it's good stuff, man. Good things, man. Anybody else out there, man? I see I got a lot of people in this chat. 26, we growing. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Please go out there and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this content. There is, I think now I do have the super chat thing on the bottom of my screen. So if you wanna do a super chat to this show, I think I have the capabilities to do that. If you want to just push the hard button, I'm gonna do it for y'all. The one that goes up there. If you want to push the hard, or you got something that says 100, let's push that and let me know. Yeah, yeah, we might could have got a better coordinator, but right now, and I'm gonna say this, and people will get mad with me on this when I say this, because everybody want to talk about Matt Eberflus. I think buy-in is important, and I think and I'm gonna say this, and I know it's gonna make somebody. I'm gonna be real, and I got to be real. I think our defense's lack of physicality and playing soft try to use Matt Eberflus as a scapegoat for them playing soft. See, I look at soft zones not as a soft zone because he called it. I look at the soft zone as a mentality of the guys who playing it. Let's go. Let's say that again because I want y'all to hear it, and I want y'all to hear it in the back. When they talk about a soft zone, I don't look at a soft zone to telling me how they're playing it. When you got guys standing in front of you and you got the sticks and there's no other people behind you, and you don't squeeze up on that, or you play, and you've been taught all your life. If a guy comes in your zone, there's no threat. It turns almost into man. All your life. And I'm watching guys come in people's zones and they still standing 5 yards off the guy. I don't consider that the defense call. I consider the players that playing in this zone. Because I watch Seattle, they run a lot of zone, and it's hard to even get passes off. Because they rally and knock your head off. We're not going to be able to do this without being physical. Okay, that's another question about Chris FM. Okay, Chris FM. He said, "Do you think Turpin should get less snaps on offense? No running back snaps. And let me tell you something. Turpin's a gadget guy, but this is where Turpin hurts you at. When you got Turpin on the field, right? If he doesn't get the ball, how else can he help you? And there's no slap to Turpin. And let me say this again. When you put a guy on the offensive field, right? He cannot be a one-trick pony. One, because you are limited. Now everybody know it's got to be either or to know what he's going to do. Two, that's either pass or run. Every offensive player needs to have two capabilities. Even the CD Lamb and the Pickens. That's why I'm talking about with CD Lamb and Pickens, especially Pickens. Pickens a big receiver. He's going to help you catching the ball. But if I need to run an outside sweep, he's big enough, and if he blocks well, He can hurt you that way when we get a big play. So he can hurt you in many ways. Even your quarterback, he can hurt you with his legs. He can hit you throwing the ball, or he can audible. He can hurt you many ways. Not mean he's all both ways are great, but he can hurt you many ways. Linemen, the offensive linemen, they can run block and pass block. Couple of ways they can hurt you. Running back, he can block. He can get out there and protect the quarterback. He can run the football. He can be a pass catcher. Tight ends, he's a great blocker and a great route runner. Guys, multiple guys, even though they have a what they do. When you're coaching, you get your players and you find roles for them. But you do not want guys on the field that's one trick ponies. Because now you make them predictable. So when we go back to Turpin, I ask you the question again. What other ways he can hurt you other than getting the ball in his hand? We can say he could be a decoy by running patterns, but he's not going to go block guys. He So yes, when we talk about limited snaps, yeah, you got everybody knows a gadget when he comes in the game. We can find places for him to make a big play, but what his big plays are going to be in the return game. I don't even know why they put him in the backfield. I think that may stop a little bit. And Turpin is don't have, and then he ain't got the best of hands. You're right about that. That yeah, right. And yeah, and that's the truth about tipping the defense. Now, don't get me wrong. They can know what you do, but you can execute and still get it done. Yeah. Or you can fake it and get something else done. I'm not saying you take totally out of the offense, but I will say this: you got to be very strategic in it because he doesn't give you a threat or can hurt the defense multiple ways. And everybody thinks the ways everybody think multiple ways is always offensive. No, it's not always offensive. Is you could do certain things. We just watched the thing earlier about Flonos. Flonos is on the field because he's doing the dirty work in the blocking in the run game. I bet you we go back and watch film of he's blocking in the run game. He's doing the same thing Noah Brown did. Blocking in the run game, playing great special teams in the blocking, getting down the field, making effort plays. Those things are going to keep you on the field as a third wide receiver. Then add it on if you get a catch or two, a touchdown, or 2 or 3 catches. That's an A+ game for the third wide receiver. You can't ask no better. Those are the things that we don't watch as fans, but coaches, they watch that because that's the key and essence of football. There's roles that if we don't win the role play game, the Stars can't win the game. You know the analogy I always use about that? Dale Earnhardt can't win the race if the guys, the pit crew, don't put the tires on the car. And nobody talks about the guys in the pit crew. If they don't get in and out of the pit stop, if they don't change the right spark plugs, if they don't do the little adjustments on the tire on the setup, nobody talks about it. They talk about Dale Earnhardt wins it or the racer wins it. But the little places, you got to stack up victories there, and then you will be all right for the outcome. And how you get that? Let's go back to that word again. What the word is, if somebody can put it in the chat. How did you start doing that? It's a C word that we've been talking. Consistency. Consistency is what good football teams. Consistency is what good human beings are built off of. That don't mean you can't be spontaneous, but being consistently good. Some people are consistently bad. But build some consistency as a football team, then we can go farther. Any other comments? Let me go back and see. Any other comments? Anybody else got some comments or something, a question you want to ask Coach Marv that, we want, if you're well and welcome to put in a super chat. I think that criteria, I think if it's up there, please let me know. You're more than welcome to click on the super chat and put a $2 super chat in there so I can see if it pops on my screen too, and I can recognize it because we're trying to grow this channel and grow what we do on this channel. If you want to donate to the chat to the channel, if you want to donate to the channel, I pinned my Cash App to the top of the screen. If you want to, donate to the channel, I pinned my Cash App to the top of the screen. Um, Trying to learn these things. What's the score? Man, I had Cowboy fan. I had last week. I had the Cowboys blowing the Eagles out, and I don't usually give a score. And I was right though. I said we were gonna win by 2 touchdowns last week. I was telling all my friends they were gonna win by 2 touchdowns. They were bragging, but we was. We scored 24 unanswered points. If we didn't spot them, we would have beat the living crap out of them. This game, there is no blowing out Kansas City. This game is going to test our mental toughness more than any other game that we've played this year. Let me tell you something, folks, and I ain't saying the season's over if we do lose. But if we can play a mentally tough football game this week and come out with a victory against a team that's a wounded animal, a wounded championship animal that know that they got to win, and we could come and grind them out, adversity, come back, things ain't going good, but play hard and make some plays and come out of victory this week, watch out, NFL, baby. Because the confidence is going to be through the roof, and we come to pay respects to everybody in the NFL for the rest of the season. This is going to be a tough game. So get your turkey, sit back, understand that there's going to be some low points in this game. Our fans got to understand, man, we start, things go bad, we start throwing our team under the bus and talking all bad. Listen, man, understand, y'all, if y'all watch the live stream I was with Boss Cowboy, you see I didn't say too much of that. I was watching because I understand the flow of the game. And I was like, we just need to get back in this. Oh, great question. What did I think about Scott Schottenheimer Grassman? I think that was a poor decision. He tried to spin it, and I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. He tried to spin it that Listen, when you say the defense, yeah, we went down there. Well, okay, let me paraphrase his statement, and let me tell you how I break down my interpretation. One, he said, "Well, it's quick decisions. You have to make those decisions on the side when you get that hat, and you ain't got but a certain amount of time to make a decision." One, that's bullshit. That's BS. One, you knew if you were going for it on fourth down before you got to third down. You make that decision then. Because you ain't called timeout to go there. Yeah, I know you might have did call timeout. But you already made that decision. Second thing I don't disagree with. Everybody talking about he went for it. If you were gonna go for it on second down, on fourth down, you should have ran the ball the first time. On third. Next thing, you don't reward a bad play. You not reward. You don't compound mistakes. What do I mean by compound mistakes? He said his thing said, well, yeah, we went for it, but yeah, that kind of put our defense in there, but our defense bailed us out. If you felt our defense bailed us out, you did the wrong thing. Come on, Shad, don't tell us that crazy stuff. If you think somebody bailed us out, you said that we made a mistake. Next thing that I don't like about that statement, he said that he talked about how Philadelphia could drive down the field and kick a long field goal because they had a field goal kicker with a leg. Okay, if they did that, the game going to overtime. You scared of going overtime at home? Because if you kick your field goal, if they go down and kick a field goal, you still ain't losing. You act like a field goal going to lose the game for you. They had drove in the field on you all game. If you got a field goal, think about the possession after that. We turn the ball over on downs. We shut them down. The game should have been over. They should have had to go for a fourth down and 20. That's when they keep punting the ball. They would have had to get a first down there just to keep the game going. We could have got the ball. We would have been up 3 already, and we could have ran the clock out. The game should have been over. We put Aubrey in the spot that we had to make another play by Pickens to get back into the field goal range. Poor decision. You never, after your team has fought back in a game that they were down 21-0, and now you got a chance to go up 24 with what, less than 3 minutes or something going the game. What you doing, man? Compounding errors. Yes, somebody say, well, CeeDee Lamb would have caught the ball. We wouldn't be talking about that. That's the truth. But the football guy said that was an error on CeeDee Lamb. So you compound the error by going for it? I made the analogy about the analogy yesterday about the Bible reference about David. It wasn't David. David had had a affair with with one of his soldiers' wives. If he had left it right there and repented, that could have been straightened out. But no, he compounded the error 3-4 more times. And when he kept compounding the error, guess what? It got to a point where it was irreversible. And that compounded error could have lost us the football game. That's BS, Shotty. Take the points. Your defense plan, if you had confidence in your defense, 3 points would have been enough. Y'all made the error, your players made the error that we didn't get the first down, the touchdown when we played it. I can't compound the error and try something and let them back off the hook. And if you said your defense bailed you out, you felt you did wrong. But then to come back at the end of that statement, he said, I would do it again. That's bullshit. You wouldn't do that again. Because most times you're going to come up snake eyes on that one. But great question. I'm glad somebody jumped into that. Yeah, listen, I said this on yesterday and I'm going to say it again. Teams that do well in the red zone run the ball. I'm going to put it like this. When Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady, at New England and um, uh, Tampa Bay, anytime his team got the ball inside the 10-yard line, you best believe they run the football. They'll throw a play action pass here and there, but most of the time they run it because he understands that there ain't no room for throwing the ball. And you got the out physical guys down there. Now he'll do a play action and come up and have a timing pass. I ain't saying that he won't do that, but you got to be able to run the ball inside the 10-yard line. And we have an offensive line that's physical enough to do it. I watched I watched the film and I watched Terrence Steele and BB and our young guy Tyler your first round draft pick handled Jalen Carter on, and they had a physical battle. We got physical offensive linemen. What we doing talking about trying to pass the ball down there? Let's set it up and just go at it. Great question. Booker, yeah. Any more questions? Remember, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'm about to get off in a few minutes. I've been on here a long time trying to get my algorithms back, trying to get back to the 270 something subscribers that I need. Hoping that all y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Man, listen here. Let me say something about Thanksgiving. I'm going to have a lot of different shows. I'm going to start doing some talk shows about other things, and they're going to have coaching philosophies in it. But I'm going to start selling this merchandise. This is going to be Coach Marv Terrible Towel. Oops, I got to turn it right so y'all can see it. If I turn it right, y'all can see it. Okay. Coach Marv's Terrible Towel. This is going to be Coach Marv Talk Show. Real talk. This is going to be his Terrible Towel, man. We're going to start putting this on where name some of the phrases that Coach Marv that I come up with. Get your mind on your work. Sweating in peace, bleed less in war. Um, what I think the star means. Um, when we have a star player, what that stands for. What I think the star means: seen, talked about relentlessly. We're gonna come up with some of the phrases and slogans that I talk about all the time. We're gonna put them on some merchandise, on some hats, on some things. And listen, I've always said this: who better promote than yourself? I love the Dallas Cowboys, but I want to promote Marvin, Coach Marv. So, and I hope y'all can follow me on that, man. I hope y'all can follow me on that, man. But I just want to make sure that, yeah, Birmingham. Here's my man. I just talked to my cousins in Birmingham. My cousins in Birmingham, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. Birmingham. That's what. Hey, Alabama. I'll be in Montgomery, Alabama for the Christmas time. But I want to wish y'all happy Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna say this about Thanksgiving. With all the turmoil that's going on in this country, all this lawsuits and the innuendos and the volatile things and the rumors of wars and people losing their jobs and shutdowns and all that type of stuff. Now the stock market is where name and the housing market is where it's going, and a lot of other stuff. Now we get the outbreak of measles. Let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something. This Thanksgiving is a prime time for you to get around your families and your friends and not worry about Black Friday. Sit down and have a meal, because when you sit down and have a meal, that's when y'all at your calmest state, and be thankful and tell y'all maker that you're thankful, because he's going to be the one that's going to save all this. but he wants us to be family. I believe in my heart, man, God is love and love is God. And love will always win. Even as we have a difference of opinion on these talk shows, or people that have a difference of opinion in cowboy land or this and that, our love for the Cowboys and our respect, and respect comes love, will be able to keep us where we agree to disagree. But if we want to come together as people, as a society, the power of love has to be more than the power. It's got to be the power of love. Got to be more than the love for power. The power to love has to be more than the power love to be in power. And I say that for our Cowboy Nation, man, as we try to get to six. And when we try to get to six, it's just a football game that we're trying the greatest team sport. And this is just a microcosm of life. Sports is just a microcosm of life. But this Thanksgiving, get with your families. Tell them you love them. I love all of you out there. Even the haters or not, man. Thank y'all for supporting me. But get with your families and tell them you love them. Probably won't be on the live screen tomorrow because I'm going to a different location tomorrow with my family. They're meeting in a different location for our Thanksgiving dinner. So I will be watching the game. I'll probably kick in on sometime tomorrow night and give my opinion, good or bad, of a team. But I will be watching the game. But I probably won't be on the live because I won't have a chance to be on live because at this point in time, I'm going to spend that time with family. Y'all are my family as well, but I'm going to spend that time with my family and be thankful that you're here. Until next time, people, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much. And as I always go off, Cowboy players, Cowboy organization, Cowboy fans, get your mind on your work. Peace.